Hi, welcome back to Movie Review Mom. I'm the mom and I do the movie reviews. And sometimes I do trailer reactions, which is super fun. But today I'm doing a movie review for a very cute family friendly film called Yes Day. This is available on Netflix worldwide this Friday, March 12th, 2021. The movie is rated PG. It's an hour and 26 minutes. And I'm going to give you my movie review mom score at the end of my review. So, first, I'm going to give you an overview in a nutshell. I'll point out things I liked and didn't like, give you tips for parents, as well as themes worth talking about with your family. I'll give you some movie recommendations and the final grade at the very end. All right, so let's dive in. In a nutshell, first of all, I love the idea of a yes day, which is what the movie is about. Parenting is full of no's. So it's important that we show our kids that we can still be fun and spontaneous too. The movie features a mom who used to be fun and spontaneous, but now that she's a mom, she spends her days saying, no, you can't do that. We can't afford this. Don't do that. No, no, no. And her kids think that she is a stick in the mud and no fun. So, given the challenge to have a yes day, the mom decides that she'll say yes to everything her kids ask for. However, there are some limitations, but I don't want to give all of that away. The family friendly movie is based on the book called Yes Day by Amy Krauss Rosenthal. Now, the movie is not going to win any film awards, but it's a very charming movie that your whole family will get a kick out of, especially if you have young kids. It's sure to spark some conversations and ideas about what your own family can do to get out of a rut and have some fun together. So, there were plenty of things I really liked about the movie. First of all, I adore Jennifer Gardner. She's just gorgeous and charming, and basically I'll watch anything that she's in because I like her so much. She seems like a really nice person in real life too. I don't know what I'm basing that on. Interviews I've seen with her, I don't know. In this movie, she actually even sings. So at least I think that it's her voice. I kept listening to see if it had been dubbed in, but it did kind of sound like her. So I think that that's her. Surprisingly, this is Jennifer Garner's very first Netflix movie, which surprised me. But she already has another one coming out soon called The Adam Project, starring Mark Ruffalo and Ryan Reynolds. So that's sure to be good. I hope. Yay. Director Miguel Arteta also worked with Jennifer Garner in Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, in case you saw that movie. Edgar Ramirez makes a handsome husband for Jennifer Garner's character. And they had a very sweet chemistry that was believable. And I liked the two of them together. Fans of H.E.R., the pop singer, will be thrilled to watch her perform towards the very end of the movie. The film features a family that sometimes speaks Spanish to each other because the father is Latino, and so the kids are half Latinos. And so I thought it was really sweet that Jennifer Garner's character as the mom, while she isn't Latina, she actually makes an effort to learn the language so that her kids can appreciate and honor their own Latino, Hispanic heritage. And so I thought that that was sweet. The activities that the kids choose are pretty creative for their Yes Day. And speaking of kids, all three of the child actors are just pretty doggone cute. Jenny Ortega plays the oldest daughter, and she brings an already made fan base with her. And then her younger brother is Julian Lerner, and the youngest daughter is played by Everly Carganilla. And they're just super cute. Nat Faxon provides just some random humor with his very quirky character, which always adds a nice touch to a fun comedy. And it's his character that suggests to the parents that they have a yes day. I was super impressed with the parents when they agreed to drive through a car wash with the windows rolled down. I used to fantasize about that when I was a little girl. I think all kids do, apparently. And I think it would be a lot easier if you had a car that's a piece of junk than if you had a really nice car. And so, the kids are testing their parents to see what they're going to be able to get away with. And so I was kind of waiting to see, are the parents going to put their foot down? But sure enough, they go for it. And so that scene is actually pretty cute. I was also impressed with the kids who stuck around after a certain party that got very messy to help clean up. That doesn't happen very often. As you can imagine, there's lots of mayhem, chaos, destruction, craziness. And the movie is just very lighthearted and fun, and you'll definitely catch yourself smiling and laughing. So, in that regard, everyone's going to have a good time. Now, there were a few things that I didn't like. So, first of all, there's this one scene where the teenage girl gets so upset because her mom accidentally looked at her cell phone. And I know a lot of parents who feel like that's just the forbidden zone. And I'm like, wait a second. The parents paid for the phone. The kid lives in their house. They pay for everything for that kid, food and shelter and clothes and everything, right? And so I think it is completely okay if a parent says, hey, I'm going to do a phone check. And in fact, I did that with my kids, and they never put up a stink to my credit. I have four sons, and none of them have ever gotten completely obsessed with their phones. And they never, ever brought them to the dinner table because they knew basically it wasn't allowed. It's just super rude to begin with. And my kids are awesome. But I think that you need to lay some ground rules when it comes to cell phones. I don't think parents have the luxury of being naive when it comes to cell phone technology and what happens on your kids' cell phones. So, again, my kids knew that randomly I would check their phones. I would check cell phone messages, texts and all that kind of stuff. And as a parent, I found it very educational. And I wasn't shocked by anything that my kids did. I'm happy to say they were really good. But I remember one of my sons, when he was in high school, was dating this girl, and the conversations were very sweet. And then suddenly, after checking, text messages one day, I noticed that the girl started using some language and kind of acting different. And I was like, whoa. And my son and I had a really good conversation, like, what's going on with your girlfriend here? And so it allowed us to have really good conversations. And so I was really appreciative that my kids were very open to it. They understood the logic. I'm spending way too much time talking about this issue. And this is not a film quality comment at all. It's just something I guess I needed to get off of my chest. But it's interesting in movies to see how parent-child relationships are portrayed. And so I thought that that one was worth talking about. Some of the situations in the movie and some of the dialogue are super corny and super cheesy, but it's a family movie, so that's to be expected to some extent. Some of the sequences just lasted too long, kind of like they were trying to kill time to fill the movie. For example, there's this water balloon paintball fight type of thing, and it looks super fun, but it just kind of goes on and on. And the length of that sequence didn't necessarily propel the movie forward. We got what we needed to within a few minutes, really. But that's what I'm just saying. Certain scenes just lasted probably a little bit too long. Now, I usually get a kick out of the comedian Fortune Feimster. Whenever she's in movies, I always look forward to it because she just always plays a fun, quirky personality. But the humor in her character just didn't really land so much in this movie for whatever reason. The writing, I think, just didn't really allow her to really showcase her humor. I don't know. So I was a little bit disappointed because I really do like her. Overall, again, the movie is fun. That was just a tiny handful of flaws, wasn't it? Again, the editing and the filmmaking quality is not going to win awards, but you don't notice little flaws because you're just having a good time. Now, let me give you some tips for parents. As I mentioned, some Spanish is spoken, sometimes with subtitles and sometimes without. There's no profanity. Yay, that's always great. And talk about having a yes day with your own family. As the movies show, you'll definitely want to set some ground rules before the day starts, but I think it's such a great idea. Also, talk to your kids about some of the bad behavior that's illustrated in the movie and why it's not acceptable. Here's a heads up for parents who don't know. Fleek means extremely good, attractive, or stylish. And what's funny is they actually have a fleek festival to show how cool these teenagers are, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, it's kind of obvious where they're trying to be cool and hip and use the verbiage of today. So there you have it. Again, you could just look at the pictures, the still shots from the movie and think, all right, this is going to be a fun, cute movie. And you'll be right. So there are some themes that are worth talking about in the movie that are illustrated very well, such as parenting, good examples and bad examples, positivity, respect, growing up, responsibility, and spontaneity. One of the issues about responsibility is how these children recognize that their parents have to make hard choices because they're responsible for the kids. And that's an important lesson for young kids to learn, that it's not that their parents are mean, it's that they're doing what's best for their child. And I think that's also another lesson that's repeated over and over again once you have teenagers. All right, so whenever I watch movies, I share funny lines and interesting lines, and I include them in my written review at moviereviewmom.com. So I'll just share a couple of them with you right now. There's this party that's happening in the house, the family's house. The parents are gone. Mayhem is ensuing. And there's this one neighborhood girl, I guess, and she is discovering junk food for the first time, and she's always saying, wow, I never get to eat this kind of stuff. And so she's just like dumping this white powder in her mouth, and she's yelling out loud, what is this miracle powder? And then Ellie Torres, who's the young daughter in the movie, she says, sugar. I just thought it was a cute moment. And then here's a line spoken by the mom. She and her daughter are having a fight, and the daughter says, don't you trust me? And the mom says, it's not about trust, it's parenting. And that's a really important lesson for parents to learn too. We want to be best friends with our kids. We want our kids to like us, but at some point you have to put your foot down and make the parental decision. And sometimes that's an unpopular decision, isn't it? All right, so you want to know what grade I'm giving this movie? So overall, I just thought because it's family friendly, we need good, fun movies like this. I'm giving it a B+. So there you have it. But before I go, let me give you some recommendations for some other movies that I think you might also like. Also starring Jennifer Garner is the movie I mentioned earlier called Alexander and the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day. I honestly think this one is a better movie than that one, just for what that's worth. But if you've seen both of them, please comment down below. I would love to know which one you liked better and why. Another movie that I recommend is an Adam Sandler movie called Bedtime Stories. It's actually pretty sweet. And like this movie, there's some sweet parent-child relationship moments that I think that you'll enjoy. And then probably because of all of the mayhem, another movie that instantly came to my mind is the movie Matilda. So check those three out. Let me know what you think. And by the way, I've got links for them down below. All right, that's it for today. I hope if you watch this movie that you enjoy it. And I would love to find out if you have a yes day and how that goes for you. All right, that's it. Until the next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Bye for now.